Hi friends, it's Anastasia speaking, and in today's video I wanted to make an overview of how I created this portrait. So this portrait is from my new class on Skillshare, where I teach exactly how to do the same thing, so create a realistic watercolor portrait from scratch. And in today's YouTube video I wanted to walk you through those steps of this process. So it's not going to be a complete process. If you want to see a complete step-by-step process, I will leave the link to the Skillshare class below. But in this video you will have a good overview of what steps you need to take to create something like this. So let's get started. So this is what I start with. That said, then next step I usually do is I add a middle line to the face. So in this case, I see that the man is looking there to the right. So I will add this kind of curved line that will visually allow me to understand where the man is facing. So this is the line that will help me to place the middle of the face. So the middle of the nose, of the mouth, of the eyes, because human face is symmetrical. So I need to know where the center is. From there, I'm going to start to outline the shoulder line. So this is what I usually like doing, and it allows me to understand, where the neck is going to be, where the shoulders are, so around here. From there, I can connect it with the head. I see this man has this chin, so I'm gonna add it somewhere here. And then what I usually like is to give my eyes as much visual references as possible. What I mean by this, I need some guiding lines in order to understand if I'm placing the proportions correctly. So one of these guiding lines for me is the shirt, the back side of the shirt. So I'm going to add it here, and this shirt is going to help me to understand if everything is correct. So I'm drawing the shirt, something like this. So very sketchy. You see, it's a sketch, so I'm not trying to make it perfect. There you go, something like this. I'm not going to draw, you see, I'm not drawing any of these face features in detail just yet. I'm just placing the guiding lines to show where they are, and then later I'm going to draw them in more detail. I'm also going to draw these kind of lines, these central lines for the eyes. So they're going to be around here, and then I'm going to outline the nose. So for the nose, I usually draw a triangle. I add a circle. Like that will show the tip of the nose. And for now, that's it. I'm not going to draw anything else. I'm going to outline the mouth, where I think the mouth is. So somewhere here. See, right now, I'm not giving any details. I'm just trying to figure out where those face features are, where the nose is, where the eyes are, all of that. By the way, so for the eyes, I see the eyes are kind of shut, like we don't just see a very little bit of the eyes. So with this horizontal line, I've outlined where the eyes are going to be. Then what usually helps me a lot is also to place these circles on the cheekbones. So this is the middle of the cheekbone, and it's a really important element in human's face. So I usually like to identify them. And from this cheekbone, I can see there's this division between where the light hits. So this left side of the face is lighter than the right side, because the light comes maybe from here, from the top left corner. So all of this side is going to be lighter. And usually this division happens here. So the cheekbone is going to be the separation between the light and the shadow. And this is usually when I start to check if the proportions are right, if the person is turning out like a person. And usually this is where I try to give some typical details to this person. For example, I see the ear was too kind of small, yeah. So I made it bigger, and I'm starting to outline those details of the ear. Then I feel like the forehead is too small right now, so since my eyebrows are here, I don't have enough space for the forehead and the wrinkles, so I'm gonna erase this and move the hairline slightly. So when you create a portrait, it's all about comparison. So you did one thing and then you compare. You see, oh, now the forehead is too short. I'm going to make it bigger. So it's not like you did a perfect eye or a perfect ear and you're attaching everything else to it. It's a research. You're kind of switching from one part to another. All right. And I think this is probably where I will stop with the drawing phase. If you want to, if your lines are too bold, you can optionally lift off some of the excess with your kneadable eraser. This is another reason why I like it. See, if my lines are too bold and I think it's disturbing, I can go there and take away some of this graphite with my kneadable eraser without erasing everything completely. So see, I can still see the face, can still see the drawing, but my lines are less bold. But generally, if I'm sketching, like I still consider this a sketch, I don't care that lines show through my painting. So I will stop here, even the ear, and even some of the hair. I'm just going to leave some of this white here, and I'm also going to add this blue there to the right side of the hair. So this blue has two functions. It allows me to put some shadows and to also put this kind of blue reflection in place. I also see this reflection on the right side of the cheek. I see some of it here on the nose, on the lips, and on the chin. And I will leave the left side of the chin untouched for now. I'm also going to use it for the shirt. So I see some of these blue reflections on the shirt as well. So I'm just going to go there and add them to the shirt. So see, this way, I'm not only painting the portrait, I'm also starting to paint these surroundings. And it basically allows me to treat the whole sketch as a whole, not only as a head with a shirt. So I think it's quite important. There you go. And you see, but just by adding this one tone, we instantly gave, you see, kind of a 3D appearance to our portrait. Then without waiting too much, I'm going to switch to our light brown color and I will integrate it with the rest of the face. So what I mean is that I want this light brown to kind of blend with the blue. So that's why I'm going there right now. And while the blue is still wet, I'm introducing this new color. You see, I'm not caring that much about the face features now and painting the face features. What I'm doing though is I'm avoiding the eyebrows because I see they're light. Like the man has gray hair, so the eyebrows are also gray. So they're significantly lighter. So you see, I'm not painting them on purpose. But I do paint under the eye. I do paint the skin. I just avoid some of the elements, so such as eyebrows. So I'm going to paint this under eye area. Oops, accidentally grabbed some of my darker color, but it doesn't really matter. And see here, for example, my blue got already dry, but it's not a big deal. I'm just going to continue. And if I want this line to be softer later, I can always go and blend it a little bit better. But for now, I don't really care. I'm just going to go and cover these parts, this, and also the chin. And then I'm going to use this same color to paint the neck and part of the chest, something like this. And I'm actually quite happy with how this first step is turning out. I'm going to add some of this color to the ear as well. And what I also like to do, so this is just a personal thing I like doing, is to add like a background to this portrait. For this purpose, I'm going to take my big brush, like the biggest brush I have, a mop brush, and I'm going to create a color. I'm not sure what kind of background I want to give. So I see some of these colorful bags or something on the background. So I think I want to add kind of a splash of color there, because otherwise our portrait is just composed of grays and browns. So I want to give this splash of color there. So I'm going to mix yellow color. I'm going to mix this kind of a turquoise color by combining blue and yellow again. So that's kind of a bright green color. And then I'm going to use something like pure blue. Those are just the colors I see on the reference. I think those will give us a really nice kind of contrast. So as a first thing, well, I can go there and erase those arrows I've added to demonstrate to you some things. So I'm just gonna erase those a little bit. You see, with a big brush, it's super, super easy. It's gonna be really quick. And I personally love to give some kind of these round strokes to my sketches. So this is what I'm going to use to frame my sketch. On the right side, I'm going to use some of this blue. Just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then I'm going to grab more of this blue and I'm going to add this blue here because I see there's like a blue bag or something showing through. So I think a touch of color would be really fun. And then I wanted to add some yellow and green. So I'm washing my brush, drying it, and then just going there and adding some of this green. I'm going to add up some swirls. So things like this. This is what I love adding to my sketches. And you see it kind of blends with the purple, so I think it looks really nice. And then something the same with yellow, so I'm going to introduce some yellow there and just make it blend. And again, create a few swirls. So this is what I usually like doing with my sketches. And you see this, I think it instantly made our portrait look more alive. I'm going to go here and make this color, kind of activate this color again, and maybe add even more water and do something like this. This I think is enough for me. I think I want to add something darker here, so I'm going to use that same purple I've used, but in its darker version, so I'm mixing it again. Carmine with water, with blue, and I've actually obtained something more blue than purple, but it doesn't really matter. So to me, those backgrounds are just, I wanted something expressive there, and I think I definitely got it. So something like this is looking good to me. I think I'm also going to add this dark behind the head. I feel like when you have this dark contrast, because the head, you see it's white, right? So the man has gray hair. If I want to make the head stand out, I usually add something dark behind. Again, adding maybe some swirls, some things like this. And I'm going to use the same color to underline some of this outline of the face. So for example, the ear, the hair, something like this, just to kind of make it belong with the background. I hope you enjoyed this video and had an understanding of how to create a realistic watercolor portrait like this. If you want to see the full process, you can see it on Skillshare. If you are already a member, you can go and watch this class in your library. If you're new to Skillshare, I have great news for you, because through my link, you can subscribe and get 1 free month. So you can watch all of my classes, including this class, on top of all the other classes from thousands of creatives around the world, completely for free for 1 month. So I will leave the link to my Skillshare below this video. Again, through this link, you can get 1 free month if you're new to Skillshare and never used their free trial. So I hope to see you inside the class, and thanks for watching.